Representation of amplitude modulation is the topic for today's lecture. We know that amplitude modulation is an important modulation method in communication system. In previous lectures, we have seen the basic introduction of amplitude modulation, why modulation is needed. Now in this lecture, we will discuss about how the amplitude modulation is represented, how it is represented in mathematical expression, and then how those mathematical background and expressions are correlated with the signal waveforms. And then we'll understand how does amplitude modulation work and how does it help to transmit our message signal with the help of carrier signal. So as we know that the amplitude modulation, we can see here that there are three pictures. The first one is baseband signal, second one is carrier signal, high frequency signal, and third one is modulated signal, that is amplitude modulated signal. So we have already defined amplitude modulation as a method of modulation or a process in which the amplitude of carrier, the carrier amplitude changes according to amplitude of modulating signal. And in correct word, amplitude of carrier signal changes in accordance with instantaneous value of message signal, because there is some difference between instantaneous value and amplitude. If of course instantaneous value of modulating signal is changing, amplitude will change, but actually the change in amplitude of carrier is proportional to instantaneous value of message signal. So we can look at here the diagram. This is the message signal, high frequency carrier signal. And if you look at the third diagram, where you can understand the frequency is not changing, but the amplitude of carrier signal is changing. And it is attaining its maximum value AC plus AM. Why it is attaining AC plus AM? Because you look at here, the maximum carrier amplitude at t equal to 0 is AC, whereas at t equal to 0, the maximum amplitude of modulating signal is AM. As we know in amplitude modulation, that the carrier amplitude changes in accordance with instantaneous value of message signal. And therefore, at t equal to 0 in modulated signal, the maximum amplitude will swing from any value that minimum value to AC plus AM. So maximum value that will attain, that we will obtain in modulated wave is AC plus AM. So this is the diagram that depicts very nicely about how does amplitude modulation work. Now, if you look at the extension of that diagram, again you see here another message signal, the signal which is displaying in red color, and there is a carrier frequency. And when you compare this carrier signal with modulating signal, you find that the carrier frequency is much larger than the frequency of modulating signal, because in the modulation process it happens, a high frequency signal, a high frequency and high energy signal is mixed with the message signal, and that signal becomes powerful and can be transmitted. So look at the third diagram. For this message signal, the carrier signal changes like this. Again, if you compare the second and third diagram, the frequency of signal is not changing, whereas the amplitude is changing. And how does amplitude change? The amplitude of this carrier signal is changing strictly in accordance with the amplitude or instantaneous value of modulating signal. So if you see the dotted lines are actually expressing the envelope of modulated signal. And this envelope, if you can compare, it is similar with, not exactly similar, but exactly same as the modulating signal. So you can see here it's modulating signal, and the same signal with the change in amplitude can be seen in the third diagram. So this is how amplitude modulation works. So if you see, there is one more block diagram, there is a modulator. Just by saying that carrier signal is mixed with a baseband signal, that is message signal. It does not mean they are directly multiplied or they are added, they are mixed, they are subtracted. There are some operations which take place. So modulator is a device. It's a big setup device. It's a big setup component where a system where there will be number of components responsible for different functionalities, and ultimate aim is to produce transmitted signal. So you look at the diagram, the message signal, the baseband signal, where the information is content is going inside the modulator, where the carrier signal is mixed, and then we are getting modulated signal. And the modulated signal is, if you look at here, frequency shifted signal, where the frequency has been shifted, frequency has been changed. There is no the modulation carrier frequency shifted means the frequency is translated. I'm sorry, frequency of carrier signal does not change, but the modulating signal frequency is translated. We'll understand what do we mean by frequency shifting. What do we mean by frequency translation? The message signal which is at certain frequency will no longer remain at same frequency when it is translated, when it is communicated, when it is transmitted. So the modulation helps to make the signal powerful so that it can reach the long distance. Moreover, the translation also takes place, and because of frequency translation, the security, the intelligibility of message is also enhanced. So if you look at one center diagram where you can find the message signal is coming, where there is a mixer device, is written as multiplier. It's not directly multiplication, but it's a kind of multiplication. So there is a, I'm sorry, there is a symbol for mixing, and where the oscillator is generating FC. What is FC? Carrier frequency. And you can see this blue color signal here. The blue color same signal is modulated signal. So this modulator or multiplier here, multiplier can be seen as multiplier, is producing modulated signal. And what is more interesting here, look at that the bandwidth. If the signal bandwidth, that is message signal bandwidth, is capital B. Capital B means suppose the signal is from 0 hertz to say FM hertz. So what will be bandwidth? FM minus 0. So you will get FM hertz. So the total bandwidth, say it is B hertz. So that message signal. But what is the bandwidth of AM signal? Bandwidth of AM signal is 2B. It's because of, we have already described in previous lecture that in amplitude modulation there are two side bands, upper side band and lower side band, and those representations we'll explain in this lecture in detail. But both the side bands carry same amount of information, that is message signal. So message is there in both the side band. What is the bandwidth of message? B. So B plus B, you look at here, at center there is a carrier, and there is upper side band and there lower side band. Both the side band have equal bandwidth B and B, and therefore the total bandwidth of amplitude modulated signal is 2B. I hope this is clear. So when we discussed that there are side bands which are available in amplitude modulation, what are those side bands? Upper side band and lower side band, and there is a carrier. So when we talk about complete amplitude modulated wave, complete amplitude modulated signal, it has three components. One, carrier signal. Second, upper side band. Third, lower side band. So when we say conventionally amplitude modulated signal, that is by default called as full AM also, and that is actually DSB FC. FC here stands for full carrier. Full carrier is there. Double sideband, full carrier means both the sidebands are transmitted along with carrier as well. And remember, the carrier can always be suppressed. That is very interesting thing in modulation process. Without carrier, see what is, then you can say, sir, you are not sending the carrier signal. So how the messages are transmitted? The role of carrier is still there. The carrier has been used. The carrier has been mixed with message signal, and we have generated upper sideband and lower sideband. Upper sideband and lower sideband are not the message signal. Remember, they contain, they are carrying message signal, but they are not message signal. So therefore, still the carrier signal presence, the impact or the effect of carrier signal is there in both the sideband. But in suppressed carrier, look at the second one, double sideband suppressed carrier. In suppressed carrier, we can transmit both the sidebands but without carrier. So carrier is suppressed and upper sideband and lower sideband, both the sidebands are transmitted. Now there is third category, that is single sideband modulation, and that is also possible with or without carrier. And this is really very interesting thing in modulation. You can understand, you can imagine that only a single sideband, either of upper sideband or lower sideband, can be transmitted. And you have to remember one thing, in either of the sideband, the same amount of message, the entire amount of information will be carried by either of the sideband. Please remember, either of the sideband. And despite there is no carrier. Carrier is also not there. One of the sideband is missing. Only one sideband is transmitted. And later in the subsequent lectures, we will see that single sideband carries the whole amount of message. So there is a method called as SSB-SC, single sideband suppressed carrier. And when we say single sideband full carrier or by default SSB, means carrier will also be sent, carrier will also be transmitted along with one of the sidebands. Now the question arises, which sideband, whether upper sideband or lower sideband has to be transmitted? That's an important question. So when we discuss SSB in detail, that time we'll understand which of the sideband is used. But since we are discussing here why or in SSB there is only one sideband transmitted, we need to understand which sideband will be transmitted. And in fact, the mechanism by which we choose one of the sideband makes SSB much advantageous, much beneficial as compared to other amplitude modulation methods. Because when you choose a method, when you choose a sideband, and between the two sideband you decide that which sideband has least noise or which is likely to be affected by noise least, that can be chosen, that can be selected. So the possibility of interference, the possibility of noise, the possibility of unwanted signal could be reduced by choosing an appropriate the sideband between the two sideband. So that is one advantage of SSB and either of the scheme, either with full carrier or suppressed carrier. But this is the scheme where one of the sideband carries the whole amount of message. All right. Now the third one is the vestigial sideband transmission or vestigial modulation method, VSB. As its name suggests, there is a term vestige, V-E-S-T-I-G. Vestige means, something is left, something is a waste, you can say. So what do we do in SSB? In SSB, we choose only one sideband and we completely leave other sideband aside. But in VSB, what do we do? And what is the, what is proved in VSB scheme? When we discuss in detail, you will understand that the sideband which is left out is still in some portion of that left out sideband. There is some amount of message which is still there. That could be, that could be added with one complete sideband, and it will carry then complete message without loss of information. So that is about VSB. VSB is actually an extension of SSB, where SSB means one of the sideband and some small part of the vestige sideband, that is the left out sideband, is also transmitted. And this scheme is called as VSB. VSB is very popularly used in television transmission. In picture transmission of television, VSB is actually the modulation recommended. So these are different types of amplitude modulation: DSB, full carrier, suppressed carrier; SSB, full carrier, suppressed carrier. Two major types, and the third major type of amplitude modulation is SSB, that is single sideband modulation. Now if you look at the full amplitude modulated signal, modulating signal, for example, it's an audio signal, it's given here, carrier signal, a high frequency signal. What is the result? The result is an amplitude modulated wave or amplitude modulated signal. And here again we can see in the third diagram, the third and second diagram, if you compare, you will find that there is no change in frequency, there is only change in amplitude, and the change in amplitude is depending on the change in modulating signal. And actually this is the fundamental principle of amplitude modulation in communication system. So let us do, as I told you, as we are discussing this lecture as a representation of amplitude modulated signal. So what will be frequency spectrum? What will be Fourier spectrum of amplitude modulated signal? Can we express, can we represent AM signal in frequency domain? This is what is the focus of this lecture. Yes, we can. How can we? So let us assume something. What we'll assume? What we are defining as signals, that is carrier signal, amplitude modulated signal, modulating signal. Then we get amplitude modulated signal. Let us express by using some standard mathematical expressions. For example, if carrier is represented by AC cosine omega CT, where what is omega c? You know that 2 pi fc. Fc is a carrier frequency. We can write in terms of omega c, or we can write in terms of fc. When we write fc, it's a ordinary frequency in hertz. When we write omega c, it's angular frequency, it's a radian per second. So let us assume that the carrier frequency is AC cosine omega ct. What is message signal? SMT, which is written as AM cosine omega MT. In carrier signal, what is the maximum carrier amplitude? Mathematically, we understand these expressions are very simple expressions. What is carrier amplitude here? Carrier amplitude is AC. What is message signal maximum amplitude? That is peak amplitude, AM. So can we get AM signal? Can we get AM signal? The AM signal can be written as, look at the expression carefully, the ST, AC plus SMT into cosine omega c t, cosine omega ct. Can you understand why cosine omega ct? Cosine omega ct is the term given in the carrier signal. Look at here. And what is the carrier amplitude? Initially AC. Now, if you look at here, cosine omega ct multiplied by AC plus SMT, multiplied by AC plus SMT. Why it is multiplying? In place of carrier amplitude, look at here, the carrier amplitude originally is AC. What is new carrier amplitude? The carrier amplitude is new. What is new carrier amplitude? The modified carrier amplitude. Modified carrier amplitude is AC plus SMT. Please understand. AC plus SMT. What is AC plus SMT? Now, let us again define amplitude modulation. Amplitude modulation is a process in which amplitude of carrier signal changes in accordance with what? Instantaneous value of modulating signal. What is instantaneous value? Not AM. Instantaneous value of modulating signal or message signal is SMT here. So can you see here? AC plus SMT, because the original carrier amplitude is AC. It is modified by, it is changing by the term SMT, because in amplitude modulation, the carrier amplitude varies according to instantaneous value of message signal. So what is the new carrier amplitude? The new carrier amplitude can be written as, you can see new carrier amplitude as what? AC plus SMT. So is it still a carrier signal? That is amplitude modulated signal. Can we say that it is still a carrier signal? Or can we say the modulated signal, which we also call as transmitted signal or radiated signal, is actually carrier signal? Yes, is a carrier signal, but not the original carrier signal. The carrier signal which is modified now. How it has been modified? By the process. By what is that process involved? The process is the carrier amplitude has changed, and how it has been changed? It has been changed depending on how much change is there in the instantaneous value of modulating signal. All right. So this is the expression of AM signal, that is AC plus SMT multiplied by cosine omega CT. Now, if we can expand it, if we can expand the term, look at here, right? If we can expand this term, because we know what is SMT. SMT is AM cosine omega MT. So if we substitute AM cosine omega MT Here, what we'll get AM, the expression of AM as, the expression of AM will be AC plus AM cosine omega mt into cosine omega ct. The same is written here. AC plus AM cosine omega mt, the whole multiplied by cosine omega ct. Please remember here, AC plus AM cosine omega mt is the carrier amplitude, is the carrier amplitude of transmitted signal. And the cosine omega ct term remains same. We are not changing, we are not altering the carrier frequency, and therefore it will remain same. Now here is new term, we are defining an important term called as modulation index. Sometimes we call it as modulation percentage. When we multiply it by 100, then it becomes percentage modulation. What is modulation index? Modulation index will tell us how much modulation has taken place. What do we mean by how much percentage of modulation or how much modulation taken place? What do we mean by modulation change? What the change is? The change is in carrier amplitude. By how much? By the instantaneous value of modulating signal. What is the maximum possible amplitude of instantaneous value? AM. So how much maximum change may occur? That is AM. With respect to what? Carrier amplitude. And therefore AM divided by AC is defined as modulation index. What is modulation index here? AM divided by AC, that is change in carrier amplitude with respect to its original value. The change in carrier amplitude with respect to its original value is called as modulation index. Now, what is the expression of amplitude modulated signal? It is AC plus AM cosine omega mt cosine omega ct. Can we substitute M here? Yes. When we take this AC outside the bracket, what we'll get? AC into 1 plus AM by AC. Look at here. And that AM by AC will become M here. So what is the new expression of amplitude modulated signal? The new expression of amplitude modulated signal is AC into 1 plus M cosine omega mt whole multiplied by cosine omega ct. Now can we multiply? Yes. If we can expand it, we'll get it as AC cosine omega ct, first term, then plus M into AC cosine omega ct cosine omega mt. So there is a term, product term coming in the second part of AM as M into AC cosine omega mt cosine omega ct. Can we simplify it? Yes. We know that by mathematics, cosine A into cosine B can be written as 1 by 2 into cosine A plus B plus cosine A minus B. When we apply this, mathematical formula, we'll get the expression of amplitude modulated signal as AC cosine omega ct plus MAC by 2. Look at here. MAC by 2 cosine omega C plus omega mt plus MAC by 2 cosine omega C minus omega mt. Can you understand how important, how interesting expression has become? The expression for amplitude modulation has become as cosine omega, AC cosine omega ct. Can you see here? What is this? Carrier signal. AC cosine omega ct is carrier signal. What are other two terms? This omega C plus omega mt is representing upper sideband component, and omega C minus omega mt is representing lower sideband component. Although a single frequency cannot represent a sideband, it must extend from some frequency to other frequency. So what are those frequencies? Obviously, there is a carrier frequency. From carrier frequency omega C to omega C plus omega m, upper sideband, and from carrier frequency omega C to omega C minus omega m in the negative part, in the other side, is called a lower sideband. So there are two sidebands are formed. Two sidebands we are getting. Both the sidebands are either side of carrier signal. On right side of carrier signal, upper sideband, and on left hand side of carrier signal, there is a sideband called as lower sideband. But in simple language, in the expression, we can simply say that there are three terms in amplitude modulated wave, and three terms representing here carrier, upper sideband, and lower sideband respectively. Now, What is the spectrum? As I told you, that see here the frequency spectrum. At carrier frequency, what is the term here? There is a term, amplitude. We are talking about amplitude spectrum. Frequency spectrum can be drawn for different values. We can draw power spectrum. What is the definition of power spectrum? Power versus frequency. What is amplitude spectrum? Amplitude versus frequency. So at carrier frequency, what is the amplitude? That is AC. So we can also write here AC. The carrier amplitude is AC at what? At carrier frequency FC. Now there are two components. Look at here. Omega C minus omega M, omega C plus omega M. What is the magnitude? MAC by 2. Look at here. You can write omega C plus omega M or FC plus FM. It is up to you. When on x-axis, when you write F, it becomes FC plus FM. When you write omega, it becomes omega C plus omega M. So at FC plus FM and at FC minus FM, look at here, the amplitude is same. Why? The amplitude, if you can compare here, it is MAC by 2, MAC by 2. So the component, that is the amplitude of upper side band as well as lower side band, both are same. But what is more important about this diagram is, this diagram is called as frequency domain representation of amplitude modulated signal, where there is carrier at center, there is upper side band at FC plus FM, there is lower side band at FC minus FM. Now, if you are interested to calculate the bandwidth, as I have told you previously, that in amplitude modulation, either of the side band carries the whole message. Is it there? Yeah, look at here. From FC to FC plus FM, what will be the bandwidth? How will you calculate the bandwidth? Upper frequency minus lower frequency, that is FC plus FM minus FC. Can you tell us that, can you calculate the bandwidth of upper side band? I'm just showing here with the help of pointer. FM, it is FM here. So FM is the bandwidth of message signal we are talking about. If you look at the lower side, it is extending from FC minus FM to FC. How can we calculate upper frequency FC minus lower frequency FC minus FM? So what value we will get? The same value we will get as FM. What is FM? FM is the message signal frequency. That is actually the range. It is extending from 0 to FM hertz. So what is bandwidth of message signal? FM. So can we say that in either of the side band, lower as well as upper, message is there? Yes. Why message is there? Because the same side band you can find in upper side band as well as lower side band, because both the side bands carry whole amount of message separately. What is the total bandwidth? What is the total amount of bandwidth for this amplitude modulated signal? The total amount of bandwidth is, look at here, FC plus FM minus FC minus FM, you will get twice of FM. So how can we conclude? We can conclude that the total bandwidth of amplitude modulated signal is bandwidth of amplitude modulated signal is twice of the bandwidth of message signal. Twice of bandwidth of message signal, that we can say. All right. So this is the frequency spectrum of amplitude modulated signal. Now, due to two side bands in frequency spectrum, the scheme is called as, why do we call this frequency spectrum as, the frequency spectrum of full or complete AM signal? Because in complete AM signal, we know that there are two side bands and carrier, and therefore two side bands are there in frequency spectrum. This scheme is called as DSB-FC. So is this the frequency spectrum of complete AM signal? Yes. If there is no side band, if one of the side band is missing, this component will be missing from this spectrum. If carrier is missing, yeah, this will be removed from here and the two side bands will remain. So if you are asked to draw frequency spectrum of AM signal for SSB suppressed carrier, what will happen? Carrier will be removed from here and either of these component will remain here. Is that clear? When we want to draw the frequency spectrum of amplitude modulated signal double sideband suppressed carrier, what will happen? this peak amplitude spectrum or the center spectral will remain there, and two other spectral components will be removed, because I'm sorry, DSB-SC means carrier will be suppressed and these two components will remain here. So information in the baseband, that is information signal, is present in both sideband, not in the carrier. I have already explained here, it is not present in the carrier. It is actually present in both of the sideband. So message is carried by not the carrier but the sidebands. It does not mean that the carrier, its name suggests carries. It is actually carrying because it has facilitated two sidebands, and those two sidebands are carrying the message signal. All right. So an audio signal with the bandwidth, say there is an audio signal we want to transmit whose bandwidth is 5 kilohertz. What will be the bandwidth when we modulate this signal by AM? Means what will be the bandwidth of transmitted signal? What will be the bandwidth of radiated signal, transmitted signal, modulated signal, or AM signal? How do you calculate? Just multiply by 2, because we know that the bandwidth of AM signal is twice the bandwidth of message signal. What is message signal here? An audio signal. Therefore, the bandwidth will be 10 kilohertz. Now, the modulation index. I think we have already given the introduction of modulation index. Modulation index determines the amount of modulation, how much modulation has taken place. How much modulation has taken place? That is determined by the what? That is determined by your modulation index. It is determined by modulation index. So we have also seen that the modulation index is defined as how it is defined as AM by AC. That is maximum amplitude of message signal divided by maximum amplitude of carrier signal. So modulation is required to establish a AM communication link. Generally, AM is less than 1. The modulation index is generally less than 1. Means it is generally less than 100%. It is desirable to have modulation index lesser than 1. Because if it is more than 1, is called as over-modulation. In our previous lecture also we have talked about over-modulation. Over-modulation creates difficulty. Over-modulation creates distortion in the system, and therefore if we want to establish a desirable AM communication link, communication system with a good modulation percentage and good modulation scheme, it must have modulation index less than 1. It is necessary for successful recovery of original message at the receiver, because when we transmit the message with the modulation index more than 1, there would be difficulty in recovering the original message signal at the receiving end. At the receiver, because we know that there is a reverse process at receiver called as demodulation. When we modulate at the transmitter, demodulation is needed at the receiver. So while demodulating the signal, while recovering the signal, the original message will not be completely recovered. Some message, either unwanted information will be added, or some wanted message would be lost, would be missed, would be left out. So that is the difficulty. You can say distortion, you can say reduction of signal strength, that will happen due to this particular problem. So therefore, the modulation index must not be greater than 1. The maximum possible value which is allowed is 100%. But generally for desirable communication system, it must be lesser than 100%. Look at the scenario, one waveform, the example where you can understand the modulation index here is 0.5, that is 50% modulation. It looks like this, 50% modulation. How does 100% modulation look like? Look at here. It has just crossed the x-axis, and both the spectrums are not overlapping. They are just touching. Both the side spectral components, positive and negative side of carrier spectral components, carrier waveforms are just touching the x-axis, but they are not interfering. Where? When m equal to 1. So therefore, we suggest that, or it is recommended that 100% is also not good. 100%, there is no problem at all. But if there is any fluctuation in the frequency of, the carrier signal, what will happen? That there is a possibility of interference between the two sides, and that will cause distortion in the system. And therefore, it is better, it is preferably to choose the modulation index lesser than 1, that is less than 100%. Now see the third scenario. When it is 1.5, can you look at here? Interesting thing. Both the sides, they are overlapping. There is an overlap. There is an overlap. There is an interference. This overlap causes distortion in the system. In communication systems, in telephonic conversation system, sometimes it results in the form of crosstalk. Crosstalk. You are talking to one person, but you are listening, you are hearing to sound or voice of some other person. You are not able to, talk to one person. You are able to receive the voice of two persons. One is intended sender, and one is unwanted sender, unwanted, undesirable sender or receiver, you can say, right? So that happens when the modulation is over, and this actually case is called as over modulation. We know that excess of everything is poison. So nothing which is over is allowed here. So over percentage, over modulation means more than 100%, not at all desirable. So it must be less than 100% that is allowed here. And this is the description or discussion about the modulation index. So if the modulation amplitude message signal is higher than the carrier amplitude, when it will become, now let us understand, see here, when the modulation index is greater than 1, what does it mean? When modulation index is greater than 1, what is the expression of your modulation index? AM by AC. When it is greater than 1, what is the meaning? The amplitude of modulating signal is greater than amplitude of carrier, which is not allowed. Even if they are equal, it gives you 100%. Otherwise, what is desired is the amplitude of modulating signal must be less than the amplitude of carrier signal to have lesser than 100% modulation. So if it has more than 100%, that is over modulation case, what does it mean? The amplitude of message signal is greater than, is larger than the amplitude of carrier signal. So this causes distortion in the transmitted signal. And when there is a distortion is an unwanted signal. It affects the, the signal recovery, the signal strength, and the signal quality at the receiver. So therefore, it has to be avoided. The over modulation has to be avoided. Now, related to the spectrum analysis and amplitude representation, let us discuss about power efficiency. What is power efficiency? Power efficiency is nothing but how much power is there in the sideband divided by how much is the total power. Now, how will we calculate sideband power? Can we come here? We can calculate sideband power. Look at here. In communication system, we calculate power as a normalized power. That is RMS power. So how will we calculate power here? This is MAC by 2. It will be square term, right? So you will get here what it is writing here. See here, it is writing as M by 4, M square by 4. It is, MAC by 2 whole square, right? MAC by 2 whole square. Root means square. So it is M square by 4 into PC. AC is, actually, let us try to understand. I'm sorry. What is carrier power? Let us calculate first carrier power. Carrier power will be AC square by 2. Let us understand. What will be carrier power? AC square by 2. Why? RMS power. What is RMS? AC by square root of 2. What will be power? Root mean square. That is AC by square root of 2 square. So it is AC square by 2. So what is carrier power in this case? AC square by 2. What will be sideband power? Any sideband power, because both are same. MAC by 2 divided by 2 divided by square root of 2, because maximum divided by square root 2 will give you RMS value. So MAC divided by 2 square root 2 whole square, it will become M square AC square divided by 8. M square AC square divided by 8, which can be written as M square by 4 PC. What is PC? Carrier power, which is AC square divided by 2. So when you substitute AC square divided by 2, you will get m square AC square divided by 8. But in terms of carrier power, we can write how much of carrier power is there in the side band? M square by 4, factor of carrier power, part of carrier power, m square by 4 by into PC, m square by 4 of your PC divided by what is total power? It is carrier power. Look at here, PC plus PC into m square by 2. How does it become? Because m square by 4 into PC, m square by 4 into PC is the total power in sideband. So what is the total value? M square by 2 into PC. So m square by 4 into PC plus m square by 4 into PC is the total sideband power, divided by 1 plus m square by 2 into PC is the total transmitted power. If you cancel these PC terms, you will get the expression as m square by 2 divided by 1 plus m square by 2, which is m square by 2 plus m square. This is defined as power efficiency, which indicates that how much power is there in the sideband with respect to the total power. For example, when m is equal to 1, what is the meaning? 100% modulation. So it will become 1 by 1 plus 2, 1 by 3 into 100%. So it is around 33%. So 33% of power efficiency means only 1/3 of transmitted power is there in the sideband. And what do we know about sideband? Sideband carries your message, and wherever message is there, that is sidebands, how much power is consumed, how much power is utilized of the total power by the sideband? 33%. And therefore it says that only 1/3 of transmitted power carries the useful information, carries the actual message. So let's sum up this lecture today. We have discussed amplitude modulation representation. We defined amplitude modulation as a process in which carrier amplitude changes according to amplitude of modulating signal or instantaneous value of modulating signal. Then we, on the basis of assuming mathematical expressions for carrier signal and message signal, we got the expression of amplitude modulated signal. We have drawn the spectrum. There we found that there is a carrier frequency. There are two other components, FC plus FM, FC minus FM respectively, called as upper sideband and lower sideband. And both the sidebands and the carrier, if they are combined, called as complete AM signal, which is double sideband full carrier. So there are different types which are possible: double sideband full carrier, double sideband suppressed carrier, where we can suppress the carrier and we can send only the sidebands, because that is possible. Because one important thing is, in the sidebands only message is there. Similarly, in the side, there is one more scheme which we can have as single sideband with carrier or without carrier. There is another scheme of amplitude modulation, that is VSB, used in television, vestigial sideband modulation method. That is the extension of SSB, which we'll discuss in detail later in subsequent lectures. And then on the basis of amplitude modulated wave, we calculated the power terms, and then we have discussed about the power efficiency. And the power efficiency is the term which indicates how much power of total transmitted power is utilized, or it is used, or it is required in the sidebands which are carrying the message signal. So overall, the representation of amplitude modulation signal or representation of AM signal is an important tool, is an important method that gives the understanding of amplitude modulation, the concept of sidebands, power calculation, and the power efficiency calculation. So that's all for today's lecture. Thank you.